Mindful of Madness. I'm your host, Andrew Ingram, and every week I sit down with a different musician, comedian, poet, artist, a lot of musicians and comedians, if I'm being honest. We're going to fix that soon. But I talk to them about their process and the business of making things. And this week on the show, I am so excited. He's a hero of the Colorado Springs music scene and just a swell guy. Sean Ostrow, everybody. He's on the show. He's great. You should check out Southstrow and the Fruity Loops next time he's able to perform. His band Alone just put out an album on Bandcamp, and they're putting out tapes. I'll leave a link to that link or that site in the show notes. Please check him out. Just an amazing DIY force in this community. And obviously, go check out What's Left Records, which is a business he started with his brother Brian, who's also an amazing member of the music scene here. Go check out What's Left Records, because it is there is a lot of cool stuff in there. A lot of vinyl, tapes, some CDs, cool shirts with their faces on it. It's amazing. Definitely go check out What's Left Records. As for me, as always, you know the deal. I've got a website. It's called mindfulofmadness.com. All of my writings there. I'm running a little late on my story for this month, but it's going to get done. I swear to God, I started a new job. There are a lot of crazy things happening in my life, but it's going to happen. We're going to get it done. I'm maybe a third of the way through it, but we're going to figure it out, guys. Check out my album, This Was a Bad Idea, my comedy album, on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. You get the deal. It's funny. It's done better than I ever thought it would, and it's approaching 15,000 listens. So if you want to go check that out, I'd kind of like to. It came out December 7th of last year, and I'd kind of like to hit 15,000 listens before December of this year. I think that would be, amazing and make me feel good about myself. And I'll tell you what, guys, I need a little bit of a boost right now. Not trying to, give you too much of a peek behind the curtain. Yes, I am. I'm incredibly, I'm an oversharer. That's what I do here. That's, if you've listened to an episode, you know. But this episode actually did take place at What's Left Records, just kind of in the middle of Sean's shift, and you should it's a little shorter than normal, and we had to pause a few times and come back to it because he had customers, and that's just the way things go. He's a very busy guy and has a family and responsibilities, and I was about to start another job, so we just kind of took the time we could find to record this thing, and I still think it's a really good conversation, and I hope you guys like it. So let's go ahead and get into the show. This is musician, DIY enthusiast, business owner, Sean Ostrow. Guys, welcome to Mindful of Madness, the podcast. You heard me in the intro. I'm Andrew Ingram, and with me today is Colorado Springs music scene legend, Sean Ostrow. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. Doing good. Sean Ostrow in the house.
Yeah.
Chilling out at the record store. So It's good. Slow time. Perfect time for a podcast.
Yeah, we're actually out in public. We're out in the world. Scary. Yeah, it is the scary times for that. But yeah, we're recording a podcast. We may be pausing periodically as people come in the door to buy stuff. But I really wanted to get Sean on because he's one of the coolest guys in town and a big proponent of independent art and we like to talk about that a lot in the show.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, let's run down projects because you have a lot.
Yeah.
What are you're running What's Left Records now? It's your new business.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah. This is the newest venture, is What's Left Records. We just started this off like 2 months ago, so that's super awesome. We started off, I've been playing in bands a whole lot in town for a long time, since probably like 2006, I would say, something like that. So long time doing that, and then just always trying to book shows and do a lot of stuff. We used to have a venue called the Flux Capacitor a long time ago. It was a DIY spot. We had that for 2 years. I've also bartended at the Triple Nickel and bartended at the Zodiac, and we booked a lot of shows between both venues there. Just playing in bands, booking bands, touring, doing a lot of stuff, just trying to be direct in with the local art scene and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of a champion of the local scene. I'd say you and your brother really are two of the guys you can really look to and say, okay, these guys are taking that punk rock DIY ethos seriously, and it's you don't see in a town like this. It's hard to point to people where you can say they're not only making their own things, they're helping to grow a scene here, and I think that's great.
Exactly.
What are your active projects right now? You got Ostrow and the Fruity. Obviously, everything's kind of weird right now. But
yeah. So as far as like with my bands and stuff right now, Ostrow and the Fruity Loops, I still do that quite often. I'll still play shows every once in a while. I've been recording a lot of stuff that's just goofy, fun rap stuff. And then I have my death metal band called Alone. We're like a death sludge band. We actually just recorded an album. Well, we recorded an album a year ago, but we're just releasing it now. So keep a lookout on that. We're gonna release it on tape. We'll probably do it on vinyl at some point too. But yeah, that album just came out. This sweet tape label called Transylvanian Tapes from Oakland just put it out. So you can find it on their Bandcamp. It's called Useless Existence.
Do you have it here in the store yet?
We don't have it yet because the album hasn't come out yet. I mean, it's out digitally, so you can listen to it online if you want to. But the actual tapes will come out on the 31st or so. Yeah. So we will have them in the store once we get them.
Can I ask you about tapes, because I have my album. And I'm a little curious whether I should. I got a bunch of tapes for free.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a little curious if I should just dub some tapes, just to sell for $5.
I love tapes.
Yeah,
I'm about it. There's a lot of people who buy tapes.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I love tapes. A lot of people still have tape decks in their car. Like I had a Volvo. I still had a tape deck in my car, so I really liked having them for a while. And yeah, I don't know. I love tapes. It kind of depends. Like CDs are probably the most medium that I don't use, to be honest. I buy CDs a lot, but I always just mess up my CDs and throw them in the back of my car. Tapes and records I actually collect and keep, so they keep in better condition. So it's just a nice collector item. And I think tapes are good to have because you can just sell them for $5 or pass them out to friends or do stuff, and then they still have a hard copy. Even if they're going to be streaming it, they still have a hard copy where they can look at the insert and lyrics and stuff like that. But yeah, it'd be cool. I've never seen many comedy tapes, so I'd be interested.
I've seen a couple.
Okay.
I'd throw a couple on your rack over there. Yeah, I wouldn't tell you. I just hide them there.
There you go. That's okay. That's fine. But yeah, so that and then I'm in a band called Not a Living Shred with my brother.
Yeah, which is a rad band. I love watching you guys play.
Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely on the comedy tip for sure. It's just like a fun parody kind of band. We kind of make fun of all different genres and all different things, but it's still fun and thrash. But we have like a trap rap song on it about Flintstone like vitamins, and it's all over the place. So those are the most active bands. I still play in a bunch of other bands, but they're kind of not doing too much. I play in a new band called Louse as well, but it's not technically mine. Hey, what's up? How you doing?
And we're back. There's a customer or somebody coming in and dropping off records.
Yeah, dropping off some CDs, dude.
Yeah.
We got a big CD section now.
Yeah. which I want to talk about because I feel like I collect vinyl now. You collect vinyl and tapes.
Mm-hmm.
I have CDs of my album, but I don't listen to CDs anymore.
Yeah.
I've sold about 30 of them.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I feel like CDs are kind of more dead than anything at this point.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's totally where I'm at. But but there still is like a big CD scene, and that's the thing, and that's what I didn't like really realize, but I have more too. I've been helping out at this record label, Dark Descent Records, and they sell CDs like shitloads constantly. They're always selling CDs, and,
really?
And it's all like a bunch, like so many. So I got a bunch of their CDs. I mean, that's death metal and stuff. But a lot of people still buy CDs. A lot of people don't like buying the records. A lot of people still like collecting them, having them in their CD cases, doing their stuff. You know, a lot of people don't like streaming. A lot of people are still under. And that's the thing with me. It's like I still do listen to CDs, and I'll buy CDs. I'll buy some cheaper ones. I'll get a lot of local CDs from bands and do stuff like that and trade. I think CDs should still definitely be made, like as far as like me and my band. I like making CDs too because it's easier to pass to people too. They can put them on their computer. You know, a lot of people who don't have record players and tape players still listen to CDs and stream. But yeah, it's weird. It kind of just depends on the scene, you know. So here we're actually really bulking up our CD selection because there is a lot of people who are like, oh, you know, like I love records or I love music, but I don't have a record player. So I'm like, okay, well, either buy a record player or we have a bunch of CDs. Like, we have lots of CDs. So, buy those too. We got to make sure we have everything for everyone.
Do you have record players for sale in here?
We do. We have one right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, brand new ones. Yeah. We're starting to try to order more, maybe get some used ones and do stuff like that too. So, but it's good to have them in here.
Yeah.
Because that definitely is the one thing that make people feel guilty. I'm like, we got one for sale right now. You can do it.
I got a nice
one. It's just
one.
that push.
So if you guys just want to have my shitty old one, you can have it.
Well,
it doesn't have an amp or anything, but
that always works.
I can bring it in.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm not gonna use it. I got a better one.
There you go.
Yeah, what so by the way, I wanted to say the first time I saw it, I'm pretty sure this is Night of the Living Shred. It was right when I started getting into the art scene here.
Okay.
So it may have been a different band. Night of the Living Shred has a crazy Wu-Tang cover.
Yeah.
That I love so much.
Yeah. Well, it's not a cover. It's just called. It's a Wu-Tang song. Yeah, the song is called "White Kids Love Wu-Tang."
And I was like, this is incredibly accurate and funny. And
White Kids Love Wu-Tang. We have like a breakdown part in there where we do the whole cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar bill, y'all.
It's so funny and like such a well-observed joke.
That's really what that band is, though. It's just we make fun of every single genre. We have songs against we have songs making fun of hardcore, making fun of death metal, making fun of the Deftones, pretty much all around, making fun of rockabilly. We have a song called it's like always the last song we sing, but it's called I bought a DeLorean so I could send you back to the 50s where you belong, you greaser fuck.
Which is like rockabilly kids, they're like the least offensive sub-genre. Like, they're not hurting anybody. It's just a bunch of pretty girls in dresses, but
they're hurting everyone with their damn pompadours. Get out of here. But to each their own. I like some of it. I mean, most of the stuff we make fun of, we love. That's the reason why we make fun of it.
Well, that's if I'm being honest, that's my favorite kind of comedy. Is like, I don't like. Well, I'm not going to say I don't like the comedy because some of my favorite comedians are angry comedians.
Yeah.
But the most kind of fun comedy to do is when I'm talking about stuff I like.
Yeah.
It's like...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I've got a new bit about whales. I fucking love whales. They're the coolest. But the whole bit's about, these dumb pussies went back to the ocean because they couldn't hack it on land. It evolved back. You're going backwards, you cowards.
That's too funny. No, it's good. I mean, you got to do stuff about things that you like and love, if you have passion in it, or at least you should know about it,
Plus, I have to imagine it would suck to play versions of music that you hate,
Oh,
right?
yeah, totally.
You know, like.
Well, and we definitely do sometimes, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. No, that's what a lot of people do though. And it's the easy way to get big is just play music that's popular, even if it's not stuff that you necessarily like.
Yeah.
You could just freaking get it down, and yeah, I mean that's
just kind of session
play,
it out.
Just play whatever super popular, you know.
Yeah,
Make money. I mean, you know, I know stuff where like people do it like it's like a job. Like it really is a job. Like if you're writing music for the you know the mecca of people who like enjoy this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I
being
guess
a musician sometimes it's kind of easy to do that.
I guess it beats working at a bank, but it seems like that would kill me.
For me.
I'm always fascinated by just bringing it back to comedy because I can't play a lick of music. But, you know, I'm always fascinated by comedians when you find out, you know, you get the creeps like Louis C.K. or whatever, and you know your entire persona was this truth teller, and you were keeping these secrets the entire time. And I can never, and you're, you know, apparently this progressive guy, except you weren't. And I can never reconcile, how can you write jokes like that if that's not who you are?
Yeah, well, it's even with the Louis C.K. stuff too, though. I mean, I don't think he really acted like he wasn't a creep. I mean, I guess that's. I feel like you could totally tell that shit through his show, or I mean, even with me, where I come to, at least far with that, is like I feel like people see creeps out of like all these extreme or crazy bands, and I'm like, they're extreme bands, like. I don't know why you would think they're not extreme people. Right. You know? Like when it comes down to it. So
it's like, oh, it's
weird. Yeah.
G.G. Allen was a bad guy?
Yeah,
Shocker.
Right? No, totally.
Shocker.
Yeah, it's kind of it's weird with that stuff.
You're telling me a man named Sid Vicious stabbed his girlfriend?
Yeah. No, that's why one of my favorite comedians is Eric Andre.
Yeah.
Because I think he is just the perfect mix of like totally PC and totally fucked up at the same point.
Yeah.
Like he's great because like he like knows what he's talking about with stuff, and like he mentions really really cool things, but then he's just like goes into like
he's
the worst shit after that. It's perfect.
He's like, what if T.J. Miller wasn't a bad person?
Yeah. He's all talking about the whole factory farms with chickens, and then he's like, we gotta fuck them titties. It's so funny.
Yeah. No, he's a maniac. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. He's very much on your wavelength.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Totally. I'm all about it.
Yeah. Well, how'd you get into... Are you from the Springs originally? Did you come up here?
Yeah. I'm born and raised. I've lived in the Springs my whole life. So, yeah, I've lived in the Springs 30 years, my whole life. My parents still live in the house that I was raised in. Yeah. So, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, my parents came from California. My brother was born in California, but he moved here when he was like 1 or 2. So, he's pretty much born and raised too.
So, how just... And this is somebody... I lived in this town a long time. Yeah. I mean, just because I was in the military, I lived in this town a long time before I knew what was going on here. Mm-hmm. The cool stuff that was happening just a little bit under the surface. Yeah. But what was that scene like when you were a teenager? What was going on music-wise in the Springs?
So, like, not much, honestly. I mean, there was still stuff going on. I would still go to shows all the time. There was like the Colorado Music Hall, so there was like a bunch of like new metal shows and a bunch of shit there that my brother would go to all the time. And there was still a scene for sure. And I've heard of way back like in the early '90s when I was like too young to even know it. There was a really good, awesome punk scene here. Like there was like an underground punk scene, like what we're trying to strive for. So there wasn't much, but I was still always in bands. I've always been. I was in bands since I was like in the 8th grade, and my brother was too. So we were always trying to do stuff, and we were like, well, there's a lot of space. Like especially for being a young kid, it was really hard to go to shows that weren't 21 and up shows. If there were Super 6 shows, they were 21 and up. Or a lot of it wasn't coming to town. So that's why, me and my brother started, like, we just started booking stuff and that's why we care so much about the scenes. Because if, everyone's all like, oh, the scene sucks, there's nothing to do here. And then everyone's like, okay, cool, well, let's leave. Let's go to Denver. Let's go to a big city. That's like, no, like, make it happen in your town. It's not hard. All you got to do is have people that strive for it and do it, and then you make a huge community, and that stuff happens, and it's really awesome. And it's like we put a lot of hard work into our scene and into caring about stuff and not trying to get cred points or be this rock star or anything like that. We're there for the community, and we want the community to be there for us, and it's helped us so much, just being nice people and playing music and meeting people. Like, we've gotten to do so many crazy, awesome things that we never thought we would get to do. And now with this record store, it's helping us too, because people already know us. And, you know, people have still been coming and supporting and doing stuff, and people just want to support the scene regardless and make these things happen. Because if you want them, all you got to do is do it and make it happen.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like, you know, my little comedy scene very much kind of riding the slipstream of that music scene here, because comedy as an art form didn't get super popular until about 10 years ago, and just being in a very red city in the middle of the country, it's taken time but the fact that there were already independent musicians making things happen meant that there were, you know, open mics that were sustainable because musicians just wanted to play. Yeah, exactly. And there were venues. I know the Buenos did some comedy shows at the Flux. Those were rad. You know,
they were always really fun.
Yeah,
and they did a lot of stuff with us too.
Well, they're good dudes, and they're DIY musician dudes.
No, totally. Know?
Yeah. I'll have to get John on the show soon. I haven't had him on yet.
You should. John's the best.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's
the buenoest.
Very bueno.
Well, that's kind of a theory I have about the Springs being so close to Denver is part of the reason it's been a struggle to make things happen here. Yeah. It's just because Pueblo is just a little further away, and so like they've had to do it themselves more, and anybody who but a lot of people have just gone to Denver because it's an hour and a half away.
It's easy
on a bad night, you know.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But it's like, well, it's funny. It's like, well, but that's what I love about these cities too, and I feel like those cities really need to strive, even with Pueblo too. Like, you know, I used to go and play shows in Pueblo all the time. I haven't as much lately, but you know, that three, like, especially for booking bands, like those 3 cities in a row are so rad. It's so perfect because they're like 40 minutes to an hour apart from each. Super quick drives. Each scene has like a good amount of people who will come to your show. So you have 3 shows in a row that will do great. Quick drives, awesome turnouts. Like it's great. Like, I love being able to do that between. But now everything's kind of trying to meld together more. Like, I've never felt like Colorado Springs was such a city until like the last couple of weeks. It's kind of driving me nuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird to me.
Are you working with bookers from Denver to get bands down here? Or are you working with bands directly? How's that work for you?
It's usually bands directly.
Yeah,
most
they're
of the time.
like, hey, we're in Denver. We want to do a show in the Springs.
People just hit us up, like, because we tour a lot. Like, we used to tour a lot, so I have a lot of contacts in general, and a lot of people have played in the Springs. So it's just the word floats and goes quick. So if people are trying to play something right in between the Springs, they always hit my brother up, or they hit up me, because I started booking a lot more once we started Flux. But it's usually direct contact, and a lot of people even ask me to help them book in Denver or book in Pueblo, or like, we can book all around. But it's definitely more of a direct thing, which is cool, which is awesome. A lot of people do just know of us, and we've been good. Like, no matter what, even if the show sucks and it's not like a crazy show or anything like that, we'll always like feed the band, give them beers, like hang out, like smoke them out, like make sure that they're respected, because like we know how it is going on tour and having a crappy show and only getting $20, and it's like you know, sorry, like, we'll give you at least this and make sure that you have a good time, place to stay, like, you know, that stuff goes a long way, even with people just coming in town, you know, just spreading your name around, you know. Well,
and I've toured very, very little, you know, but it's already hard just as a guy on my own, and like getting getting 3 or 4 or 6 people in a band, fed and happy and not trying to kill each other all the time just seems damn near impossible. I don't know how bands do it. I can barely get comedians to a show on time. I don't know how a band gets everybody in the door for load-in. I really don't.
It's hard. That's why I stick to 3-member bands most of the time.
Yeah.
I have some bigger bands, but most of my bands are either 2 pieces or like 3 people.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's good, but it's just with other people, Too many people. Yeah, it's hard for sure.
I really wanted to be a sketch guy when I started comedy. I'm like, okay, we're gonna be making YouTube videos every month, and then it's like, oh well, you need somebody to hold the camera, and you need somebody to play off on.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And it's just
hey, what's up? Yeah, you're all good, dude. How are you, Abe?
Yeah, we're gonna pause again. We're talking about touring. I think I wanted to ask you about touring because you've done it quite a bit. You've toured.
Yeah.
Now you've toured as Ostrow and the Fruity Loops. I know. A little bit.
Yeah. I've done a couple ones of those. That's nice because I can just kind of fly to a place and be there for like a week and kind of play random shows around. So that's awesome. And I did a tour with my friend Curta once for like a week, or it was like 2 weeks, which was super rad. But yeah, my band Blighters toured a lot, and my band Alone's toured a lot. We haven't toured in a while, and like now I got a kid, so I can't really do it as much.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of on the break stuff, but no, it's been crazy. I never thought I would tour so much, and it's super awesome. We got a tour with a band from Germany called Down on Knees and Weak, and because of that, we became really good friends with them. And I've gotten to tour Europe 2 separate times.
That's amazing.
I toured Europe for a whole month. Like Germany mainly, but we went to Switzerland. We went all over the place.
That's so fucking cool.
Oh, it's the coolest shit in the world. And it's like we're like a little band, Like that's the thing. Like everyone's all trying to be around rock star status and like act like they're these big people.
Yeah.
And it's like no, it's like we're playing music and I got to tour Europe and it's awesome. But I never like put it above my head or try to like, to be cool about it. Like it's just a really rad opportunity to be able to happen, and it happens when you're just a nice person and just try to talk to people and make good contacts,
Well, and hopefully
that's what everything's about.
Be good too.
Yeah.
That helps.
Totally. Totally. Just love your music and do stuff and have fun with it more than anything though, because our bands our bands are technically like all right. I wouldn't say we're like super crazy talented but we're not like egotistical about it. So it's like, but we more than anything with our bands we just have a fun time, and that's what we always have done. Even if the music's not like super amazing, we're jumping off stages, we're like getting in people's faces, like getting people like excited and riled up, and just having a fun time. And I think people enjoy seeing that way more than seeing some guy just jack off his guitar all night. Some people are really into that too.
You're like a crust punk Andrew WK on stage. Dude. Like that's honestly like watching you perform in just about any outfit I've seen you in. I've probably only seen you in like, I don't know if I've definitely seen Night of the Living Shred, and I've seen you a bunch doing Ostrow in the Fruity Loops.
Yeah, so that one's on
and I've probably seen another of your bands at some point. It's hard to remember all of the shows you go to.
Alone is the one band that's not goofy or anything. It's just death metal, because I just play drums in that band, so kind of try to be a little more serious. But in between songs, you'll hear my goofy voice, so I can't be that serious.
What's your kind of favorite thing to play? Like either by yourself or on stage. Which kind of your?
Well, I love playing drums. I started as a vocalist. I've always been a vocalist, and I've never really played instruments. And that's the whole reason why I started doing Ostrow, is because I couldn't really play instruments. But I've always been a singer, so I just started looping my voice and making beats with my voice, because that's all I really knew how to do. And people ended up liking it, But I started playing drums as well with my friend Greg in this band Sauce. It's like a black metal band. And since then I've just been really into playing drums, and I really love it, and I'm all about it. That's why I really like Alone a lot, because I do have more of the writing process. And a lot of my other bands I don't have a lot of the writing process. In this one I actually get to help write and do stuff, and I love playing drums, like I really do. It's like it's super awesome, and it's all self-taught too, so it's cool. I could learn. I'm always learning, always trying to do more stuff. But I've been really into a lot of synth and a lot of like weird experimental stuff now since I've been on quarantine. I've just been trying to make my own music.
Yeah, you've been
and do a bunch of different stuff because I got a synth. I got electric drum set at my house. I got a bunch of weird little drum machines. So the next Ostrow, when Ostrow starts playing again, it's like changed dramatically because I got a crazy new pedal. So.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a little more.
Do you ever think you're gonna make like serious synth music?
Oh, I want to so bad. I mean, well, that's the worst part about Ostrow. That's kind of why I hate Ostrow. I don't hate it, but
it's limiting at this point.
Well, it very is because I like rap stuff. Like I like doing serious rap stuff, and I want to make more serious rap stuff, and I want to make more serious like. Because I just make super depressing synth, like weird stuff that I really want to do. I just don't think, and it doesn't really matter to me too much because I make music for myself regardless. But as far as with the Soster name, people like it for the goofiness. They like it for the comedy. Right. They like it for that craziness. So it's like if I try to throw like a serious song in the middle of it, it just kind of throws it all off, So it's like I'll probably make another project.
Yeah, I mean,
and try to do it that way and see.
That definitely feels like a branding issue. As long as people know, hey, this is something else.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to be talking about headbanging on top of everything.
I'm not taking my clothes off for this one.
Well, I was talking about electronic music with CJ Hackett a little bit when I had him on, and he's been doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's killing it. I've been watching all of his stuff. I've been watching his little videos that he's making lately for making like a song a day. It's super rad.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What's kind of your approach to doing electronic music? Are you using keyboards or are you using GarageBand? What's kind of
it's kind of weird. I'm trying to figure it out. That's the thing. I love electronic music. It's like literally probably what I listen to most of anything, to be honest. I'm always listening to, but I listen to super weird stuff. So for me to do it, it's weird because I'm not a very technical person. Everything I do, I try to make it way harder for myself. So it's weird, Like I got a cool little Volca Beats drum machine. So I've been trying to mess with that and do that synth stuff. I got, I got a microKORG keyboard too. So I've been trying to record stuff on my computer, because I got GarageBand and stuff like that too, and I got an interface and all that, so I can record. But that whole process is just so confusing and hard for me. So it's like because I could loop stuff and I could loop a whole song quick as like super quick and fast and just do it that way. But when I'm just sitting there and doing and dragging, I just don't do it. So it's like I like going on my loop pedal and just building, and then I can eventually record that onto my computer. But I haven't really gotten there yet. I always just get distracted, or I just make songs and it's awesome, but then it will go nowhere, or just stay saved on my pedal because it's cool. I could save all the beats on my pedal now, so that's super rad. So I can go back because a lot of my Ostrow set I always wanted to do live beats, and I like doing it on the spot just because it makes it kind of cooler that way. But lately with this pedal, I kind of like saving stuff and just being able to go right at, because then I could have a really fast, quick set, and I can still do like a lot of songs. Because a lot of times I'll only have like a 15-minute set, so I'm like, it takes up half the time me trying to record the beats.
Right.
So it's a weird process. I'm still trying to figure it out and learn and even know how I am gonna do it. But I'm I always say analog. It's not quite analog.
Yeah.
But I'd like to make things a lot harder for myself.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm eventually getting in there, so we'll see what happens.
It's something that's always confusing. Just starting the podcast took probably 6 months longer than it should have, because I didn't want to learn how to splice things together in Audacity, which it turns out is the easiest thing in the world to fucking do. It's the easiest program in the world. But I was like, oh yeah, I got this idea and I'm going to start it, but I got to figure out how to do that first. And I don't feel like doing that right now, so we'll start it down the line. And then it literally took me half an hour to learn how to do everything I'd put off. And but that's the simplest thing in the world.
Well, no, yeah, but that's how it is with me in general, just with everything.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's kind of a mental illness at itself, or like with depression and stuff. And that's, I stop myself from doing very easy things that I can do all the time. Like I started a YouTube channel called Tunes Are Tight, where I'm doing music reviews and doing all that stuff. And I started it, and then I was like, I stuck to editing, and I couldn't really do it well. And I was like, well, this sucks. So I eventually got my friend David Roy to help me edit. And he rules with it, and it's awesome. It's super good, but it just still takes me forever to put it out, or I'm like I'm so weird with times. It's like I should put it out at this time or do it this time. It's just it all runs down to yourself, and you just got to have that extra push just to get it going,
Yeah, I think deadline, at least for me, giving myself deadlines and then teaching myself that it's not the end of the world if you don't meet it, exactly. Which is so hard. It was so hard to teach myself that if I don't meet it, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah, there's a medium between it, I feel, because that's how it was for me too. It's like I would set deadlines, and then I would freak out if I couldn't meet it to them. And then but then I got to the point where I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter if you don't meet that. But then I would never post it after the fact, So it's like you'd at least make a deadline after that,
Yeah, I can't have somebody else be my accountability for me because I'm a punk rock kid at heart. I will fucking I'll just hate you. Yeah. If you tell me, hey, you've got to go do this, well, now you're my boss and fuck you.
Yeah.
So totally. It's got to be me.
Yep.
But I had to get to the end. I've been writing a short story every month for the past 2 years. And then last year, I didn't write anything over the summer. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. And this year, I've been really good.
Yeah.
But I lost my job last month.
Yeah, okay.
And so I haven't put one out this month yet. Now, I have another job starting tomorrow. And it's like, okay. So I haven't put out my story on time. That's okay. We can probably get something done by the end of the month as long as this new job doesn't kill me.
Yeah,
we'll find out. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay.
It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world.
I'll get it.
I'll get there.
Yeah, that's just I just want to keep momentum going with the YouTube channel. Like it actually keep people to like it. It's like if I only post a video like once a month or once every, people just lose interest.
Well, and that's I've been tinkering with YouTube a little bit because I've been putting the podcast out there, and it's like, okay, well, YouTube doesn't generate a lot of revenue. I'm not generating a lot of revenue from the podcast anyway, which I'm probably not gonna, and that's fine. But I, YouTube's this other tool for making stuff, and I've always wanted to make sketches and stuff. So have you been watching YouTube videos about what makes a successful YouTube channel? Any of that shit?
I never watch them.
Yeah.
Because I find them to be bullcrap anyway. I mean, it definitely does help and stuff like that, but
I feel like
I hate going to norms. It's the same punk rock thing. It's like, I don't want to do what you're telling me to do to make that. It's like, no, I just want to do my stuff, and hopefully people will like it and enjoy it. Yeah. And that's all, because I'm not trying to make, money off my shit. Really. I mean, in the long run, it would be cool to make money, especially, if it gets bigger and I could do that. And then, with my editor and stuff, I can get him stuff and, But me, I don't do anything to make money, Yeah. It's nice when it comes, but I think if you make it a job and try to do it, it's like it takes the love away from it.
It is hard. I found getting married changed my perspective on that a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just because I feel like if I'm spending time doing this because I love it and because I have to, I can't not do comedy. I can't not write. I have to do those things. Now, I could treat them like hobbies and never be as good as I want to be. Yeah. Because and that would drive me nuts. Not being good at the things I think I can be good at would bother me. Yeah. But the spending a lot of time, that means I feel like I have this responsibility to at least bring something in with it. I totally agree with you on that too. And I have lost.
you know, because I used to be way more like never get paid or whatever. But now I am. It's like, yeah, if I'm taking time away from my son, because I got a son now, if I'm taking away time from him, it's like I'm not going to do it for nothing, you know. Like, it is good to get some stuff and be able to bring something back, you know, and to do stuff from it. Like, you know, you do have to make a business. And still with this, like with the store now, you know, everything else we always try to do for community stuff. And we are doing it for community, but it's also good to be able to make money out of it and, you know, keep it running.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. For a business to stay open, it has to generate something.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
You've got to pay the rent on the space, and you have to pay your rent.
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
But I love the store. I love that you guys opened it. You know, and this is the first time I've been back since opening day.
Yeah.
You know, but like I'm excited that people are coming in. We've had customers come, because anytime a friend or somebody you know in the scene starts something, there's always that little bit of nervousness that it's like, oh man, I hope it doesn't suck, and I hope you know, like a comedy club opened up in Colorado Springs a couple years ago, and I had friends involved with that. And it was just in a terrible part of town.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. It just they couldn't get their liquor license, and it's like you want everything to be successful. You want cool people to succeed. But sometimes it doesn't work out. But you guys, I feel like you guys have been building towards this almost.
Oh, we have been. And we've had a tremendous amount of help though.
Yeah.
We couldn't do anything without the scene, first of all, without all the people coming out and enjoying the stuff and buying stuff and trying to support us. And also just with like, you know, like Luke Blanton, I mean, he's helped us more than anything. Like he owns a bunch of practice spots in town, and this spot is one of those practice spots. So the whole entire spot is all studios, practice spots, art spaces, it's community stuff. And then Luke, you know, because he's the one who hit us up and asked us if we wanted to have a spot here. And we weren't even thinking of doing it. You know, when he asked my brother, because he knows that my brother's already wanted to start a record store. So we were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we saved up all of our, you know, because we lost our jobs off bartending from this COVID. So we saved up our unemployment money and we invested it and made this, you know, and we wouldn't be able to do it without these opportunities, you know. And even with Flux, that was the same thing. It was with Luke owned that spot, and he let us run that and let us do stuff, and it's just super cool. It's like everyone like needs to help everyone out, you know, and that's what we're in the business of. There's a lot of scenes that are about competition, trying to make more money, trying to do more stuff. It's like, no, we're a collective of everyone, and we want everyone needs to be a part of it so everyone can succeed.
I 100% agree, and I think, you know, that probably for both of us came from, you know, fucking Joe Strummer. Yeah. You know, or
it's just DIY, it's that punk ethos, you know?
And it's odd because like the second I got back into art, you know, I literally joined the Army because they were like, we will pay you to write. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I'm failing college. Yeah. They're going to pay me to do the thing I want. And I did it, and it sucked. Yeah. Mostly. You know, there are things I'm grateful about it for sure. But, you know, but getting out and starting comedy and, you know, making stuff for myself again. Yeah. Just all of that punk rock ethos I had from when I was younger that I'd never been able to act on because I hadn't, you know, I grew up in South America. There was not a punk rock scene I was aware of in my city. There probably were like cool punk rock bands playing, but white boy at the show, maybe not a great idea. No, totally. I feel you. But we
one more pause.
One more pause.
What's up?
Yeah, we're talking about punk rock and being punk rock and doing punk rock things.
The punk ethos. That was what I was gonna say right before. I love it. Everyone's all about punk rock and about having mohawks and doing stuff, and people think that punks are like super scary and mean. I think the punk ethos, really, when it comes down to it, is all about community, all about helping other people out, doing stuff. You know, as we always say, DIY, do it yourself, or we always say DIT, do it together. Yeah. So it's always people you know, I think that punk ethos is very important and stuff, and people think most of the time it's just this punks are all scary and anti-authority. It's like more just about doing stuff together, you know, and like making things happen, and yeah.
It's kind of about making your own community as opposed to accepting the one that's kind of thrust upon you. I think, you know,
totally.
It takes, you know, it takes effort to be a part of. It's
right,
which is I think always the challenge, because sometimes you're tired.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't.
I'm always tired.
You don't have the energy, but you do have to go out and support things, and you have to. You know, make it requires effort as well as just a mindset.
Totally. And it's awesome though, but it's cool to be able to do that and be able to have a cool community like that. And a lot of people, you know, that's with this record store is what I want to do more than anything too, is have like people who don't realize where to go or how to go to shows. I've known so many people who've like just moved into town like when there's no shows going on in the community, so it's like hard for people to meet anyone. It's like just come to the store and we'll get you in the right direction, you know. At least try to let you know that there is like a nice scene, nice people out here. You know, sometimes it's hard to find, but you just gotta look in the right places.
Well, it is a red city, you know. It's a conservative town, but like there are incredibly talented people here, and you know, like people that really give a shit about making good art. It's just not. It's not what the city puts forward. It's not what the. It's not the mainstream view of this town.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, which is probably true in most cities, but
yeah. Well, that's another reason why we started it more than that too. Everyone's always like, "Oh, Colorado Springs is all Christian, focus on the family." You know, New Life Church, all that stuff. Yeah. It's like, you know, like I guess so, but I've lived here my whole life. It's like I don't really see that stuff that much, honestly. Like, you know, if you're not in that scene, you don't see that scene really. Right. And with our stuff, I understand people moving in, not knowing anything different, you know. Right. But it's like you got to search for it, you got to find it, and you know, it seems like a little easier to do nowadays. Yeah. And as I said earlier, I feel like it's becoming a lot more of a city in here right now, which is kind of freaking me out with Colorado Springs. I like it, but it's just like I really feel that, you know, even going down on Tejon, you know, where they have the Fat Sully's and all those big fancy restaurants now, it's starting to really feel like I went there the other day and there was just like I couldn't park anywhere. Like there's no meters till 10 o'clock. Like there's just a lot of things that this little city vibe had that is like kind of drifting away, and it's kind of weird, but that's corporate. But that's happening. That's happening everywhere, really. Yeah. You know.
Well, what do you think? You know, the art scene in this town should be doing moving forward.
I mean, keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, like I feel like the scene's going well. Like you know, there's a lot of people trying to come up with events and do stuff too. Like there was like a Black Lives Matter big art show like meeting like a month or two ago. That was super rad. Just a lot of black artists going and doing stuff. Just keep doing art shows, finding spaces to do stuff. You know, come here, do murals. You know, just keep that community rolling and keep it going. You know, there's some cool, you know, like Art 111 or man, I can't think of the numbers. I always forget the numbers. But
I'm trying to remember too.
Yeah, it's the one right on Bijou in Tejon. Yeah. But they got a sweet studio there. I always go in there. Keep buying art, you know, keep pushing it out. You know, I mean it's crazy how easy it is to put your stuff out there now and to get your stuff seen. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It's like as much as like I hate social media and I hate you know, TikTok and all that type of stuff. Like
I feel like you'd be really good at TikTok if you want to debate.
Oh, I have a TikTok, but I don't really do too much stuff. I don't do like the trend following stuff. No. Like if I wanted to, I feel like I definitely could. But you know, I mean, TikTok's the crazy cool thing. Like as dumb and like young as it is, there's lots of like really cool artists on there. There's a lot of people showing their whole art, showing their stuff. Like it's a really rad thing to like put your stuff out there and get famous and get people to like your stuff. It's like crazy how easy it is nowadays. You just got to use all these tools that you can do and just try to put it out there and just keep going. I think a lot of people start doing art and start doing stuff, and then people don't like it, or it's not as big as they wanted it to be, and they just give up or be like, oh, I'm never gonna get this. It's like, keep doing it for yourself all along. Keep doing it for yourself, putting it out there for people, and if people will eventually like it, or if not, I mean, you did it for yourself and you did good stuff too, so it's like, who cares? Just keep pushing.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
I definitely feel like I feel like art's like a thing. Do it for yourself, then do it for other people, then start talking about the money.
Yeah.
After that, it's
totally.
Yeah. Your priorities have to be straight.
Yeah, if you're eventually be making stuff out of it too, and I mean, everyone's gonna want to. If people see good art and see stuff, people gravitate towards it and want to spend their money on it and want to help people out and do stuff, like, regardless. So I think it's a cool thing, but don't let that be your main focus. I feel main focus should be just putting stuff out that you enjoy, and that other people enjoy.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time because we're doing, I'm interrupting you during your work day to do all this. But
by the time you leave, I'm not going to have anyone else for the rest of the day. I know that's how it's going to work.
And then you'll be all alone.
Yeah.
But what should people check out from you?
I mean, just put a lot of. I would feel just check out the Colorado Springs scene in general. Just try to look around for stuff. We What's Left Records has we have an Instagram and we have a Facebook, so you can find all our stuff on there. We're always posting new records that we're getting. We get records once a week, at least, like once a week or once every other week. So we're always getting new stuff in. Bring stuff in if you're trying to sell some stuff. If you have art that you want to sell in here or do stuff, like, you can bring it through. Check out my band Alone. I'm really stoked on that one right now, so you can check that out at transylvaniantapes.bandcamp.com. You can pre-order the album on there. We'll put up stuff more later, but take a risk and try to find more stuff in your own scene wherever you're at. If you're in Colorado Springs, if you're tuning in from wherever, just
Reykjavik.
That's all you got to do. Just look in your own scene and try to make it work and try to meet people, and that's how it goes. It's all about community. It's all about coming together and making cool things happen.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Sean. Guys,
thank you.
You know my deal. Check out mindfulofmadness.com, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's not that hard. All right. Go make stuff, guys. Bye.